Hello, fellow ViewSonic people. By request, I'm here showing a video on how to connect your computer, your PC, or your laptop to your ViewSonic board if you've got one of the new boards, or maybe if you just already had a board and haven't got to use it yet from the whole Rona thing. Before we do anything, let's make sure we're looking at my Viewboard and not at any of our HDMI inputs. We don't want to be looking at the Chrome box on the back. You can use this input button if you're unsure, but you should be looking at that pinkish yellow screen. My Viewboard is the top input. Again, you do not want to be on one of those HDMIs. You want to be on Viewboard for this. The casting feature is probably the one that we'll be using the most. I know it's the one that I'll be using the most in my classroom. From now to the end of the year. The ViewSonic board does do some really cool other things that I've been playing with, and I've been talking to Mr. Noble about maybe creating some tutorial videos on that aspect. I don't foresee that being as useful as just casting right now, since we are kind of chained to the WebEx. So what do I mean when I say casting? I mean wirelessly transmitting what's on your computer to the ViewSonic board in this case, which is over there. The first thing worth knowing is that the ViewSonic board comes preloaded with 3 different apps to cast. You only need one of them. 2 of them do not work so well. They're called Miracast. The My Viewboard thing, it's got a little red thing, little like record sign. It's like a transmitting, you get me. And the Vcast. The Vcast is the one we're gonna want. I'm gonna show you in the video of my ViewSonic board that I made earlier which one of those icons you'll need. But before we get into what you do on the actual board, you've got to have the app on your computer to be able to download it. So I want to direct you to the, we can exit out of that. I want to direct you to this document that I'm also going to put in the email, I suppose, that I'm sending this on. This document is in our shared Jeff Coed drive, and it's got some instructions on how to download the Vcast Sender app. It will also show you how to hook up through HDMI if you want to do that as like a conventional way of connecting your computer, your laptop, whatever, to your ViewSonic board. But let me just tell you that an advantage of the Vcast app is that there's 2-way communication between your computer and the board, meaning if you use Vcast to throw your screen on the board, you can manipulate your screen, your computer, also from the board. So if you touch something on the board while your computer is up through Vcast, it will actually change things on your computer. It's like using your mouse, right, but using your fingers. So you probably want that instead of an HDMI route, because that's just a display thing. There's no 2-way communication that way. No data is going to go through the HDMI to change anything on the board. This is the second page of this document that will show you how to download the app. It is found in the Jeff Coed software thing on our desktop program, whatever it is. So let me minimize here and show you where that is. It's right here for me. It says Jeff Coed software. It's got a little CD in front of a glass building server thing. So if we click it, you will see the icon for the Vcast Sender in here. You're not going to see it in mine because after you've downloaded it, it actually disappears, which is why I wanted to pull up this document to show you. It'll look like that. I actually think when it's inside this program or server, it looks like this. It's got a little sort of unidentified icon, and it'll just say Viewcast Sender. So give that a click and download it. Once you have downloaded it, you will find it on your desktop, or you may have to search here, Vcast Sender. If you can't see the icon on the desktop, you'll find it. And you should just be able to directly open it. If it asks for an administrative password to make changes to the computer, you'll just have to get Mr. Noble to come and put in one of those very secure and very over-the-top passwords that I know he and Miss Blair and everyone else loves to type. And I'm not entirely sure if that will happen, if it'll ask for that or not. Once you have it open, you're going to see it says Vcast Sender. Please enter PIN code to connect to the Viewboard. And so I'll show you right now how to get this same app open on the Viewboard. And then you'll just put in the PIN that you're going to see displayed there. So here's our view of the My Viewboard home screen. Click that little thing, you're going to see your apps. I'm going to show you the apps you don't want. first, because there are three, like I said. Number one is this little My Viewboard. No. You also do not want this one, Miracast. No, no. What you want here is VCast. That is the casting app that we are going to use. Give that thing a tap, and now we have a code that we can put in to our Sender app. I'm just going to put in the code on my computer at this time. We'll pretend that this is the same code you just saw and that I didn't do this in two separate instances. Click OK and cast. Your ViewSonic board will do this. Well, not exactly, unless you have a webcam pointed directly at it. But if it does do that, take an opportunity to do the robot or some little dance. So back to my view on the computer. I've got it set up where it looks a little less crazy, but I'll turn it around so you can see super quick. There it is. It is casting my screen. Anything I touch up there is going to affect the screen. I'm not going to go do it because I'm hoping that you guys can infer abstract ideas at this point in your career. From here, I'd also point out, not only can you cast to the device, you can also receive. And once you're receiving, you'll see now I'm looking at the at the ViewSonic board. I can now manipulate the ViewSonic board from my computer. So if I click home, it'll go back to home. And you can't really see that, but you'll see my mouse on there. When I click, it'll move around. There it is. And now I can manipulate the ViewSonic board as well. If I wanted to open back up that app, for example, there it is. So I hope that helps. Maybe that will give us some kind of starting point for using these boards.